The next case was featured by Amy and Luna94, the channel of a young mother who's mostly sharing videos about her kids and her dog Luna. However, this got a bit weird when the woman shared a pretty unique encounter they had in the woods together, and she doesn't believe this to be anything normal, as she puts it. Let's take a look.
What's the matter? Luna, Jackson, come here, please. Come here. Come behind. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
They had no idea what exactly was going on in front of them, and what it was. Is this something otherworldly, or was it simply an animal? Hard to say. But they came back another day, and yet again saw something really interesting in the distance. The woman believes this to be the exact same thing that she captured earlier. Could this be? Perhaps it was just an animal, but it made her pretty unsettling. What do you believe? This is an eerie investigation video, which was forwarded to me by Zodiac. The story goes that two friends were exploring a supposedly haunted building one day, which was visited by the ghost of a lady once in a while. Why, however, is not exactly known. Well, as they are walking through the ruins of this former place, the cameraman captures something on his device that shouldn't have been there, and he didn't realize it at first. Was it perhaps the spirit of the lady that was lingering and waiting for the two? Or is this just a spooky hoax? After a family member had passed away, this young man was documenting the state of the building the deceased person was inheriting before. He had to make sure that all the belongings and family heirlooms that he found were well documented and listed. As he starts to record inside the house, he believes that he had captured the ghost of his relative. Looks like his relative was standing right behind him when he was checking out the mirror. Or was it maybe just a strange light anomaly? The following video was sent by Chris Bogey. He's contacting the spirit world regularly and shares these adventures on his YouTube channel, Ghost Riders Paranormal. The following night, he was contacting the spirit of Shanann Watts. Check the card in the top right corner if you want to find out more about paranormal sightings in their old home. Chris believes to have had a really deep conversation with her spirit, and in the midst of all of that, something bright appeared outside of his car.
Anyone that's followed my channel knows about my mother dying in 2015, and
Chris states, "It looks like a thermal image, it's crazy. You can see her face, her hair and the back of her head. You can make out curls. If you really look closely, you can see the outline of a head. It's really an interesting capture. What do you guys think? Could he actually record a spirit here? Or is it just car lights from the outside?" The next video we will take a look at was uploaded by user Wawa and was taken in his bedroom late one night when he noticed something strange behind his door. He was reportedly alone that night and just relaxing on his bed. When he took this video for his friends, he didn't think much of it and thought it was just a funny angle or shadow. However, when he took another look the next morning, he realized what he caught was actually very strange and he didn't really have a logical explanation for it. First, let's take a look at what his room looks like normally. As we can see, the door opens onto an empty wall here, without any clothes hanging or any furniture behind the door. Now let's see what was filmed.
Yo, man, that's really scaring me right now.
From behind the bedroom door, we can see what appears to be a dark shadow or head peeking out towards the camera. If this is a head, it would mean the entity is quite tall, assuming this is an average sized door. Many are saying this appears to be a shadow figure due to the dark color and human-shaped head. Do you agree with that? If no, let me hear your explanation for this capture. The next clip was filmed by paranormal investigation team FrostmareTV, who are based out of Singapore. In this episode, they are visiting an old abandoned farm home that is said to be haunted by a woman who can be seen lurking around the building. Locals think perhaps it is one of the old tenants of one of the homes who isn't ready to pass on yet. Without a direct way into the house, the group decides to climb up on a portion of the roof and try to enter from one of the upper level windows. This is the moment when the cameraman captures this strange sighting. Let's take a look. In the top right corner of the window, a strange white face is peeking out at the ghost hunters. Could this be the same spirit of the woman that is said to haunt the house? After spotting the face, the group jumps down off the roof in fear, and understandably so. Do you guys think this is a true ghost sighting, or perhaps just a hoax? Let me know. This is a recording from user Short and Stout Guy, who on his channel is sharing quite a few paranormal investigations that can be described as quite intriguing. This night he had received a stationary CCTV recording from a client of his. He states, in this case the owners had reported a small child-sized entity that would, at times, peek out at them from around the corner down the hallway. The group had set up its base at the end of this hallway to the left. If you watch the doorway at the end of the hall, the night vision camera recorded what appears to be a dark shape that forms and leans out to take a look down at the team and then pulls back in. Is it an entity? The camera is not the best, which is why it's pretty hard to make out facial features, but it is undeniable that something was peeking out the doorway here. Was it paranormal or something else? You decide. Flipping Fanny Fluthers has shared a video on her TikTok that apparently shows a paranormal manifestation in her mirror. She has shared it several times because she felt it didn't get the recognition it deserved. Well, let's help her with that. In general, she mostly posts entertaining songs and dances, so a serious ghost video is a bit out of her forte. Let's see. I do actually agree. A shadow seems to be appearing from the right and then appearing in the mirror. What do you think? Is it a paranormal shadow apparition or just a hoax? You might be familiar with a user called Spooky Links, who had purchased a haunted doll off the internet. During the last couple of months, he had documented some eerie events unfolding in his house. Events that are all based around the doll. And in the past couple of days, things have gotten out of hand even more. Before we get into that, let's look at one of the creepy occurrences first. When Lynx had an audio recorder set up next to the doll, it had recorded the following unsettling voice.
Do you know that you're dead? Is there anything you want to say to anyone?
Like literally, I have so much goosebumps.
Tonight he places the doll on a shelf next to a Bible, because he wanted to see what's gonna happen, if anything. But that wasn't all. On another day, while he was playing a video of a real exorcism, he captured the doll moving.
This is weird. Creepy.
On that recording, he had placed the doll in a bath of salt to see if it would do anything overnight. Now, you tell me, is it possible that this doll is haunted? What do you think? Jordan Moller has uploaded the following video, which he describes as really terrifying and concerning. He received the footage from a fellow paranormal investigator. The man who had recorded it stated that in this particular house, strange occurrences were almost a daily phenomenon. Unexplainable shadows, cold drafts, and noises in the midst of night kept the occupants of the following house pretty busy. One evening, this was captured. A shadow man is leaning into the frame with glowing bright eyes and a large hat. People suspect that this could have been the infamous Hatman that has been captured by countless people around the world and that is being seen in many people's nightmares. Could this be the reason for all the paranormal activity in this home? It certainly is an extremely frightening encounter for anybody, I would say. What is your explanation for it? Just a skit or a real otherworldly presence? The next clip was forwarded by Fireplant, and the story goes that it was recorded by an urban explorer one night who was investigating an old abandoned clinic. Many legends were saying that ghosts from the past can be seen in there once in a while. The man said that he only noticed after returning home that there seemed something off in one part of his recording. Could this be somebody else? The man says that he certainly was alone that night. So, if it wasn't a homeless person, are we witnessing a paranormal encounter here? What's your opinion? Hard to say. User Oh My God Jazz has shared the next capture to the paranormal Reddit section. My university teacher showed me this photo that was displayed in one of our campus buildings. There's an old mine near our university where the photo was originally taken. Can you see him? It's hard to not notice this face peeking out from one of the pillars in the back. The staff states that this could be a spirit from the olden days that used to work in these old mines. What do you think? A strange light reflection, lens flare of some sorts, or a visitor from the afterlife? Clara NS, a TikTok user from Germany, realized that the strange face was peeking out of a neighboring house just across the fence. It clearly was not belonging to any of the people who lived there. The question is, does this face belong to a person living in the house, or is it something completely different? This gets even more interesting a couple of days later. Good thing I speak German.
Warte Leute, ich wollte gerade drehen, wieder das Haus, wo die zwei Augen sind. Und darunter steht einfach ein Typ und schaut mich zu. Das ist gruselig. Ah!
Now the same face popped up again days after. The dude in front of the house, I don't think he had anything to do with it though. Were the eyes paranormal related? I couldn't say. The following video was recorded by a paranormal enthusiast from Mexico and shared on his very own channel, Car Smith. He was out exploring a cemetery all by himself that night, and the video in question was recorded shortly before dawn. The man was initially a bit disappointed since he didn't really come across anything noteworthy that night, but after getting home and reviewing all of his footage, he realized that something was perhaps standing just meters away from him.
No sé. Estoy solo, totalmente solo. Y me vale madre lo que piensa la gente. Pero sí, aquí estamos.
A dark shadow entity seems to be standing right in front of him by a grave. Carr swore that nobody else was there, at least as far as he could tell. And why would that person stand in pitch darkness anyway? So, did he capture a spirit here? A ghostly visitor? Or how else do we explain this black silhouette? Very unsettling. Christine sent me the next video. It was recorded by a family member who was capturing one of her friends when getting her hair ready. They were about to leave the house. Nothing seemed out of place at the time. Until... both of them said it was no member of the family. While it is hard to prove, it's really an unsettling thought at whatever we are looking at here. This clip was uploaded by Kaylee Logan on Facebook. She tells us that this clip was taken from the Ring doorbell camera at her parents' house. She claims that there has been a lot of mysterious action and sound around the front of her parents' house lately, so she was checking the cameras to see if anything was caught on there. The author of the video says there's no reasonable explanation for what she catches in the clip. She states that there was nobody in or around the car at this time, and that everyone was inside and sleeping when the following footage was taken of her father's car. What she found shocked her quite a bit. In the footage we see a mysterious figure that seems to appear out of nowhere in the passenger seat and moves from the front to the back of the car in an unnatural way. And just as fast as it appears, it seems to disappear again into the air. The uploader also states that they checked the next morning and there were no plants or other objects that could have created this reflection. Some commentators on this video have theorized that there may be a negative spirit who's attached or trapped in the car somehow, perhaps an old owner or someone that was involved in an accident. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever experienced paranormal activity connected to a car?